And happy Friday, everybody.
So,
What's up?
Friday late bite.
Happy Friday.
Yes, as Jeff put it, sup. Welcome,
So,
friends. Um, we hope you guys are all doing well. We hope you can hear us. We hope everything is good. And, yeah. Andy's out, but we put his picture up anyway, as you can see. Looking real good. And, yeah. So today
Okay.
we are going to be chatting about a whole bunch of e-commerce stuff and all different aspects of e-commerce, especially a few and how they pertain to Black History Month because it is still February, and you know what? It's something that I think that we need to keep going on after February, which is something that we'll touch
Yeah.
on at some point as well. So, anyway, without further ado, welcome. And let's get right into our first share from Mr. Debo.
Okay. To kick things off, I think just like a high level 5 things that you should keep in mind with e-commerce trends. Um, First off, this is like insane growth.
wow.
The chart you're seeing here is from 2017 and then projected all the way through 2023. And there's a lot of opportunity here for um, so many businesses. And Um, I think that one of the things that you're seeing today is like every business has a subscription, and that's because people users really like it. It's something that they get monthly. Um, it's consistent. Sometimes you get it even cheaper. Um, and a couple of like quick stats: 50% of online shoppers have signed up for one or more subscriptions. They have the most popular ones are like beauty products, food, and apparel. And it's a really great way of retaining customers because you have that guaranteed income for it's either monthly or yearly based. And if you do yearly, a lot of businesses are giving discounts, and that's a way to incentivize users to be long-term customers. Something like Dollar Shave Club is something that fits within that and is taking over that particular model because it's something that people need on a monthly basis, and it just makes sense in today's economy and with COVID, just to get something that's you don't have to go to the grocery store for. It's a really nice user experience. Two, green consumerism. So this is you know a trend that we're seeing where digital consumers are concerned about the environment, and that's definitely impacting their purchasing decisions. So that's something to keep in mind. And they're much more likely to shop with a retailer if they provide that graphic. It's inverted. So they're willing to pay more for the products if the companies are committed to positive social and environmental impact. So something like Patagonia, which is can be a pricey brand if you're like looking to shop there. It's a little bit more attractive when you know that they have a history of green consumerism. Number three, this is something that I just learned about, is shoppable TV. I'm typically like I'm cable free, so I'm not on like NBC, but this is something new where they're, you know, putting these QR codes on the TV, and you can scan the code and shop now. And it's pretty interesting. It's like a new evolution in that. And maybe one day that does make it to these streaming services as well. And it's kind of an interesting case study where they have a pretty high conversion rate. Um, Number four, this is more of a visual trend, but there's some opportunity for creative animations for page transitions. So this is mostly popularized by Apple, but here's an example of something that you could see um, that's an added level and makes your brand look a little bit um, more premium. And then number five is social commerce. So this is something that everybody's seen, but it's definitely becoming more of a thing in 2021, and all the way through to that projected growth for 2023. And just a stat there is that 40% consumers have purchased via Facebook, 13% via Instagram, and 12% for Pinterest. So a couple of like high-level things to keep in mind with e-commerce today.
That's awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff.
Dollar Shave Club has one of the most like on-point brands, I think, for just like in marketing and social. And anything I see from them is hysterical. It's hilariously written and acted.
You know what? It's funny you say that. I actually have a critique of them. My girlfriend actually subscribes to them, and all their marketing is like focused on men who purchase the razors, and I think they're missing like the whole market that subscribes to them for females. Like she'll get emails that are 100% meant for men, and she's like, well, the razors are nice and I like the subscription model, but this is definitely not for me.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't account for somebody else placing an order on someone else's behalf.
Totally. Interesting.
Interesting feedback for them. I'm sure they've gotten that before.
Is that it, David? Can I start with my screen?
All right. Next up, Jakob. Oh, the small screen.
I'm sorry. I like to be able to see everything on my little screen, so I make things smaller. Just to help me feel tall.
No, it's okay. You're perfectly fine. But speak up a little bit because you're kind of quiet, and I'm sorry.
Hello? Test, test.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. Also, event.
Alright. Well, I've prepared a short presentation, but before you get too excited, I've stolen all of the slides from a presentation that I watched that I'm going to now give back to you in a shorter, more friendlier version. So this was originally directed at developers. The title was "The Future of E-Commerce is Headless." So, you might be saying, what is headless? Why headless? Why now? So just sort of to recap on where we are at with e-commerce, we know that COVID-19 accelerated that growth by about 10 years. And when we think about e-commerce, it's important to keep in mind, like, there are specific things for e-commerce that we don't have to really consider when we're building some other more static sites. So the conversion rates go way down as the site loading speed goes up. So you can see, if it loads in 2.4 seconds, almost 2% conversion. If it loads in 5.7 seconds, just a few seconds later, that conversion cuts all the way down to 0.6%. That could be a ton of money left on the table. We also know that customers will abandon websites that take longer than 3 seconds to load. And 20% of people who have a bad experience, they're never coming back. So it's not just, oh, it took a long time to load, I'll come back, I'll buy a new product later. If they have a bad experience, they're on to the next one. And you could never get that customer back. Amazon found that just 1 second of a slowdown for them would cost them $1.6 billion per year. So that's obviously a lot of money. And even for smaller companies as well, that's still a ton of money that can be lost. And it gets even worse from there. So in 2014, 70% of these customers were on desktop, which has faster speeds and better internet. But today, over 50% of customers now are on mobile. And the stats below that TTFB is time to first byte, so the amount of time it takes for that first piece of information to get back. So that's around doubled. And then for a fully loaded site on mobile, it could be up to 27 seconds versus 10 seconds to load that same site on desktop. So it's a lot of considerations from a technical side that kind of feed into e-commerce. So back to our question, why headless? Why now? Well, headless just means that the front end of the application, so that's the website that you're interacting with and all the pieces that the user sees, is completely separate from the back end. So that's we sort of cut the head off of the back end. When you think of a traditional WordPress site, The data is in WordPress, the CMS is in WordPress, the themes are on WordPress, it's all WordPress. But something headless could look like distributed servers. Maybe you're using Shopify on the back end for your payments, but you're storing your CMS data in a different CMS, and all of that data is being fed into the front end, which is completely separate. And so there are a ton of benefits into using this sort of headless architecture. One of the big one is site performance. It's just a lot faster. It's also a lot safer because you're still using things like Shopify or PayPal or Stripe to make your purchases, but you have all the benefits of being able to build a custom solution on the front end because it's sort of decoupled. And this talk that I stole all the slides from was from last year, and it had said 56% of enterprises are exploring headless architectures. I'm sure that number is a little bit higher now, but there are big brands that are doing this. Teespring saw 2 times the conversions when they switched to a headless architecture. Victoria Beckham Beauty is on it. I looked up, looks like Peloton is using some similar technologies. ButcherBox, which is a meat subscription service. So a lot of companies are looking to kind of take that next step, and even if they've been selling online before, there's always ways to improve and ways to kind of improve your site speed and think about where is technology going next in terms of e-commerce. So that's just another thing that we have to kind of add on and keep in mind when we think about e-commerce, that it's not just is the creative beautiful, or do we have a great media plan, but once you actually get to the website, where are they going from there? So that's my student presentation. I'd give back to you.
Thank you, Jake.
I love it.
And it's good to know.
As a developer, it makes plenty of sense, and
Yeah.
arguably it's a little bit more set up on the front end than it probably pays its dividends as you're updating the site, and you don't have to update the back end. You just you update how it looks, and everything on the back end still functions identically.
Great.
Very, very, very true. Excellent. Well, thanks, man. I think.
Okay. Yep.
Hold on,
Rob, I
Filbert.
accidentally muted you, so if you trying to say anything, I just wanted to let you know that.
Well, you know what? Here's the deal.
Otherwise, I think my screen should be sharing, so everything just went really quiet.
All right, yeah. Hold on. First and foremost, I gotta fix your screen because Jake's was small. Also, why did you mute me? Everybody else could hear me because it was coming through on the stream, but why would you do that to me?
It's pretty savage.
I feel like, what have I done to you to deserve this?
Yeah, I did it to Andy once, accidentally.
We'll take this offline. It's fine. They don't need to see our drama. I apologize. Go ahead.
You ready?
Go ahead, Phil.
Okay, here we go. So, with the theme of Black History Month, I just wanted to share something that I found that Google did recently. Started out with this article where it mentioned that Google searches for Black-owned businesses between January and December of 2020 increased 600%, which is just a huge increase. And they're attempting to kind of go beyond that and try to push it even further and highlight Black-owned businesses even more. So right now, if you look at their shopping site, you'll see right at the top very prominently a call out for what they're calling a shoppable painting. So if you look at this, it's really a simple concept, but it's obviously a really nice piece of art. But basically, they teamed up with an artist, and she incorporated products sold by Black-owned businesses and kind of stylized them to her art style. And then, as you can see here, each of these icons animating in is just indicating which company it's coming from. This is itself isn't like interactive. You can't click on it or anything. It's just a looping animation. But it also features a new icon that they're including that businesses can use as a label to indicate that they're Black owned if people are looking for that specifically. So just another way for those businesses to be seen a little bit more. But if you go down through the website or the web page for this, you can watch a really nice video of like the process of the work behind it. It introduces the icon here, but then really it's just doing what it's meant to do and bringing some attention to these businesses. So I liked how it kind of showed the actual product on one side, and then on the other side where it is in the painting. So it's, as I said, stylized to fit the style of work. But I thought it was kind of cool to see that connection come down at the bottom here, and then view details will just take you to that website, and you can take a look at those businesses. So I thought it was kind of fun. We'll see if they do more of them. I think it would be kind of a cool series for them to do, but I thought it was an interesting way to think about e-commerce, like a shoppable painting. Like as David mentioned, we've got Shoppable TV. Why not a painting? So
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
It's
Like
such a
the-
good idea. And like you said, yeah, it is kind of a simple idea, but it's not. It's like so innovative. It's very Google, of course.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'd like to see, like, maybe in the future they do make it like interactive, so you can actually click into this animation rather than just watching it. But fun first step.
Very
Had to start somewhere.
awesome. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna kick you off real quick. Everyone see my screen? Rob, does that look good?
Oh, it's Gigantor, but yeah, I'll fix it
Yeah.
real quick. That's
Okay.
fine. It's fine. Go ahead, start talking while I fix it.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit about market research and some tools we can utilize to just further expand our market knowledge, our consumer knowledge, and spending habits, stuff like that, as it relates to e-commerce. So obviously there are a few giants in the e-commerce space. I'm thinking obviously Amazon, Alibaba, eBay has been a pretty long-standing one, Walmart. And a lot of that historical data is kept in a database and is accessible via these tools. So one is Jungle Scout and the other is A Machete. Obviously talking about, the Amazon jungle and how to navigate it. So I think their branding is kind of interesting. But there's just tons of information out there, right? And it's interesting to some. I'm looking mostly at the media team, the strategy team. Probably CJ would love looking through these and just understand how things are sold, for how much, at what times, to what demographics, and then be able to relate that information on to our clients who may be just venturing into e-commerce, setting expectations with them, and see just how well or not well their product may do in the online space. So Jungle Scout and A Machete, like I said, are Amazon specific. So Amazon has tons of historical information that may be useful to sift through. And I'm sure you've seen this just via shopping on Amazon, this bestseller tag. So they're obviously looking for kitchen scales, and these there's 3+ bestseller tags have risen to the top, whether that's just competition, right? Like cost versus how well they function. And this is all based on just number of sales. So whoever sells the most is the bestseller, whoever sells second most, second bestseller, etc. And these are surfaced very, very high on, so I just did a search for shoes, right? And here are the top 3. The amount of conversions that these bestsellers get compared to, the rest of the page, let alone page 2, 3, etc., is very skewed, right? So people are going to want to be able to get on this bestseller list, and maybe some of these algorithms are uncovered a bit by just sifting through this information and figuring out what's working best, analyzing keywords, analyzing Google AdWords ads and stuff like that. So these are some nice tools to facilitate that, to navigate the jungle, if you will. And then AlgoPix is another one that doesn't just do Amazon. Terapeak is one that just does eBay. So that's kind of interesting. There's some niche items on eBay, right? Like unique items, things that they don't have 500 of them in stock. There's one and it's in my basement kind of thing. And like, how did that sell? At what time? What keywords were they using? How much did it sell for? And stuff like that. So maybe not super relatable to our clients, right? They're not selling unique things per se, but just more information is better. And then AlgoPix is kind of a aggregate of Amazon, eBay, Walmart. So interesting market research possibilities here. I'm probably going to download a free trial of AlgoPix and just see, what kind of information we can get. How siftable is it? How relatable is it to our clients? I'd love to either share that, via the Big Byte thread or next week live.
Dude, that's
market
awesome.
Research.
Heck yeah.
Definitely not developer or UI related, but pertinent to our business and our clients regardless.
Very much so. And Lisa was asking if Jungle Scout is free to use, but I assume these are all
Nope,
pays.
Jungle Scout is the most expensive one. This is like $70 a month. There is a free tier to AlgoPix, which is why I'm gonna download it and see exactly what it can get me. There's also a $10 a month tier if we decide to actually go through with it.
10's not too bad, I suppose.
10's not bad. The free is way better.
Free is the best, yes. Awesome. Thank you, man. Much
Cool, yeah.
obliged. And, we've only got 2 minutes left, but I guess just another thing that we were...
Haircut.
Wait, what?
The time for Phil's haircut.
Oh my god, yeah, Phil. Show us exactly. Because...
Now Phil's gonna cut his hair live on stream
I gotta grow it out a little more.
next week. Phil cuts his hair
Oh,
live on
and
stream.
we're out of time.
Oh,
Next
just
week.
like that. All right. Well, fair enough. Thank you guys for joining in. Sorry that Phil did not cut his hair. Hopefully next week. Hopefully sometime soon. Because otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of the Big Byte? At all.
Right.
I mean, my hair's getting pretty ripe. It's time to cut mine off.
Yeah, but not...
No,
I mean, you
looks
gotta
good.
have
Thanks, dude.
the Phil skills. If Phil doesn't teach you how to do it, it's just gonna...
Oh, I don't do it. My wife does
Phil
it. She does a
cuts
great job.
Jeff's hair.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. I'm going to go have a very frank discussion with Phil about why he muted me, because I'm very hurt about it. And, yeah. Matt also says just cut it with your girlfriend's razor from Dollar Shave Club. So, by all means, sharing is caring. Thank you guys. Much obliged. We will see you
Nice weekend,
soon.
everyone.
Happy Friday.
Peace.